This is probably one of the most insane clips of Candace Owens, and it reveals her ignorance on Israel. So she tries to claim that basically, this is probably one of the most insane clips of Candace Owens, and it reveals her total ignorance on Israel-Palestine. Here she tries to claim that Israel is an apartheid state and gets absolutely fact-checked by Ami Kozak, a Jewish comedian.
When people call it, this bastion of freedom, or it's just like America, it's not the sense that I had when I was there. And again, we had talked earlier on about how our own experiences obviously color our opinions. And I grew up, at my grandparents' house. My grandfather grew up in a segregated South. And so when I'm walking through Jerusalem and you see, and they say these are the Muslim quarters, this is where the Muslims are allowed to live, that doesn't feel like a bastion of freedom to me. So I guess.
Oh, I don't think it's where they're allowed to live in Jerusalem. I think it's that there's an Armenian quarter. It's not saying the Armenians can only live here. It's that there are communities, just like there's a Jewish community in Jersey here, and there's a Muslim community in here. I don't think, to my understanding, it's not restrictions within Israel proper of where Israeli.
I think it is where they have. I mean, at least that's what the rabbi who was taking me around. He said these are the Muslim quarters, so this is where the Muslims
live, but he didn't say anything about legally saying they cannot live in other places within Israel proper. I mean, there's Israeli Arab citizens that have full rights. Israeli Arabs.
I'm only talking about Jerusalem, so I haven't been to Tel Aviv or anything like that. I'm just talking about particularly.
Jerusalem itself as a city has a division in it where the Green Line divides, and there's East Jerusalem. That's maybe what he was talking about, not the Muslim quarter, but East Jerusalem. There's disputed territory within the West Bank and East Jerusalem that divides, and therefore they're under Palestinian Authority or even other jurisdiction. But that's a different conversation as far as what those are. But Arabs within Israel, if you go to Israel, people would be surprised to see on every street sign Hebrew, English, and Arabic. You see a multicultural city. So I'm keep going a little bit because I'm curious in your experience in Jerusalem.
Yeah, no, and maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but I think it's worth talking because my understanding from the rabbi was that this is where the Muslims have to live in Jerusalem, and it looked very different from where the Jewish people were living, and that again, that could not be any fault of any person other than this is how they take care of their stuff and this is the way that we take care of their stuff. But it was noticeably a lot dirtier, it was noticeably a lot darker, and it just made me feel as a Black American and knowing my own history that this is not this isn't freedom to me. Like if you can't just decide like I want to live on that street or I want to live on this street, but maybe I'm wrong and it wasn't they were just all choosing to live there.
It might have been a misunderstanding. Imagine if you went into an inner city in the United States and somebody told you this is a predominantly Black neighborhood and you said it looked more run down. Would you say that America is systemically racist because
if I was
of these
giving
cities?
A tour of it, I wouldn't say this is the Black quarters. Probably.
Or this is a Black neighborhood, but maybe somebody in the group might misunderstand that.
Yeah, maybe I did. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about that.
She finally admitted that she's wrong after prolonging it. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Possibly I was wrong. Oh, actually, I was wrong. And Ami Kozak does a great job of fact-checking her. Again, she's trying to claim that Israel is an apartheid state. He's like, what are you talking about? Muslims can live anywhere in Israel. It just so happens that they prefer to live in that neighborhood. Just like Jews like to live with Jews, Muslims actually they like living with other Muslims. So the idea that there are neighborhoods is not apartheid. It's just a reality of the situation. For more, subscribe to the Jewish Uncensored. If you want to help us make more of these videos, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored.